All right, so look, what we're going to cover today is we're going to have a look at why you're here. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about who I am. Okay, just in case we've never met. I'm going to talk to you about training, nutrition principles. Talking about starting off and maintaining the right mindset. I'm going to talk to you about why low-calorie diets aren't the thing that's going to work to get you nuking that belly fat. I'm going to talk to you about why getting in shape doesn't have to be something that takes over your whole life. Very important, that one. We'll also talk to you about how to revolutionize your nutrition and never be on a diet again. And also, we chat to you about how to basically burn 28 pounds in 12 weeks. Now, how I'm going to get through all that stuff is very, very simple. All right, what I'm going to be doing is basically talking about 7 belly fat burning mistakes which most people have made or are making. And then what we're going to do is actually give you the solution to each of those mistakes as we kind of go through. So we've got quite a bit of stuff to get through, as I said. Any one of these 7 things I could likely spend a good 2 or 3 hours on. Okay, so we're going to go into a little bit of depth of them, but we're kind of, there's a lot more we could talk about, for instance. So if you do get questions, as I said, just pipe up in that question box, and we can look to get those answered towards the end of today's webinar. So look, these are likely the reasons why you're here. Right, you're likely frustrated, confused about not knowing what to do in order to nuke that belly fat and to get the body you want, the energy levels you want. You don't want to live your life on a diet. That's a big one. Okay, chances are you want a beach body this year for a change. Most of the time people tend to they'll get to the summer and then they'll start thinking, oh crap, I really should have done the work in the autumn, winter time, spring, whatever. They kind of get to that summertime and they're thinking, ah crap, I'm back here again. I'm dreading putting on that bikini, or I don't want to strut around the town in my Speedos if you're a guy. Sure, we've all done that. So what we want to do is actually help you get that before it actually gets to that time. Yeah. Some people, it's about getting their old body back. It's about currently being in a state where they've never been before, or they certainly don't want to be. Okay, and it's about thinking, right, man, I used to be in great shape 5, 10 years ago. I want to get that back, or get as close to that back as I possibly can. So we're going to talk to you about that as well. You don't want to settle for where you're at. Okay, everyone on the line here, and myself included, none of you guys, none of us want to settle with where we're at right now. Okay, if we did, we wouldn't be here. You guys wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be doing the stuff I do. Chances are you want more confidence, to be happier, get more from life. You're likely fed up with storing fat in your troubled areas. We're talking about predominantly like the belly, love handle area, I guess, today. But, people have got other trouble areas, of course. So, the legs, ass, thighs. Some people get face fat, for instance. But we're going to talk to you about predominantly the belly and love handles today. And you know what? You want to learn more so you can actually get more. Get more from your body, from your nutrition, from your training, just from life in general. Okay, so that's likely why you're here. In terms of who I am, predominantly my favourite role in life is being a dad to my little boy Luca there, who's an absolute stunner. He's 2 next week. Not that anyone's asked about that, but that's how I see my priority in life is making sure he's all good. Other than that, I do a bunch of stuff in terms of the business side of things and what we do with my my businesses. We help people get great results and get in shape. Okay, is the kind of nuts and bolts of it. People come to work with us not because they want to have a personal trainer, not because they want to go to a fitness camp, not because they want to come to the studio a few times a week. They come to us because they want the end result. Okay, I've never met a single person in life who wants a personal trainer. Okay, no one wants it. We want the end result. All right, so that's why people come to see us, to get that end result. In terms of me personally, I'm well in tune with getting outside of my own comfort zone. So any of this stuff I'm chatting to you about today is, it's stuff that I kind of implement myself, and I said I'm not afraid to put myself out of that comfort zone. Did a boxing match a few months ago back in November, off like 4 weeks training, which was quite fun. That was the latest thing I kind of done to get out of my own comfort zone and do something slightly different. And then, my other kind of love in life really is kind of endurance sports and triathlons, and doing quite a bit of running and that at the minute as well. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. In terms of, how we're going to be helping you today, we're going to be helping you to gain a lot more knowledge about, where you're at right now and kind of how to get to where you want to be. So how we can start to really nail that fat from around the belly, around the love handles, and actually start getting you the body you want. All right. Now, why should you listen to what we're going through today? I figured I'd just literally show you just a handful of pictures. Okay, so this was a girl called Alana who worked with us doing some semi-private personal training, and then more recently on the Ultimate Body Club. This actually here was a 16-week transformation where she's gone from, I think, 34.6% body fat down to 24 in the bottom picture, and she now typically sits around, I think, between about 18 and 20%. So she carried on getting in even better shape even after she got that stunning result there. So absolutely phenomenal result there. So that's maybe one reason. You can see there she's lost a lot of fat from that belly and a lot around those love handles areas as well. And this is doing the same stuff as I'm going to be talking to you guys about today as well. Okay, so it works. All right, that's another guy we've helped. I mean, Owen here has lost I think around 6 stone, maybe a little bit more. But you can see he's obviously started out on the left hand side. That's where he started off coming to us at fitness camp, and then right now he's on the Ultimate Body Club, which is one of our blokes programs, and he's in terrific shape now. I said about 6 stone down. That doesn't happen by mistake. He's worked his arse off quite literally, and is absolutely kicking life's ass at the moment. One of the ladies there, Michelle, this was a 12-week transformation over on one of our women's programs as well, the Ultimate Body Club. So you can see again, she's gone from storing a reasonable amount of timber around her kind of love handle area, which she didn't obviously want there. And then she's actually, got a pretty awesome set of abs, which she loves getting out, which is great in the picture on the right. And that was, I said, about another 12-week transformation there. This guy here, Paul, didn't actually work with me in the studio. We did some remote stuff with Paul, and I think this was about 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks. But he's got himself down in that second picture. I think he started off about 16% on the left, and then down the right he's closer to about 12%. So I said, the stuff we're going through today is stuff that works. It's tried, it's tested. I'm someone who's in the trenches, so to speak, doing it daily, doing it with clients, and getting it done, rather than being like one of these internet marketers or something who kind of just sell, and whatever else for online products, and not actually coaching people. So I'm actually coaching people live, quite a lot of time in the studio in our fitness camp programs as well, which is cool. So here's the rules for today. There aren't really many, but this is all I want. All right, just pay attention to what we're going to be going through. All right, you're here because you want to listen and you want to learn. So, do kind of try and pay attention would be great. I'll try and make it not too boring. Ideally, get your phone and your Facebook off. So if you're on Facebook right now, which I know a couple of you are, you're bound to be. Yeah, get off. Then do try to kind of switch that off. Everything we're going through today, I'm not preaching at you. Okay, this is stuff I said, it's tried, tested. This is what we do. A lot of what we do to help people get awesome results. On the back of that, I want you to make sure you keep an open mind. Some of the stuff I'll be telling you will be like, what the f? And then other stuff, you'll be like, all right, cool, yeah, I can understand that and everything. So I said, just keep that mind open. Remember why you're here. That's super, super important. You're here for a reason, which is likely because you want to get better results. Okay, so remember why you're here. So what we're going through, as I said, is stuff that's going to help you out. If you've got questions, as I said, we'll try and keep those to the end. I'll just check the question box at the end of the webinar, so we can make sure we get all those answered as well. So if you get any popped up as we go through, just pipe up. All right, let's do it. So look, mistake numero uno. This is a big one. I actually originally put this in a little bit further down the line, but I think I'll kick off of it today. And not having a long-term approach. And this is so important. Massively, massive important mistake, this one. Now, typically, I can pretty much guarantee every single person on the line here has tried some form of diet. They thought, right, 3 weeks' time, 2 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, whatever. I'll do this diet, I'll be 7 pounds, 14 pounds lighter or whatever. Okay, so I can pretty much guarantee that without looking at the longer term picture and actually where you want to be. So most people go through life and go through diets and training programs and everything feeling like and thinking of themselves being on a wagon. Okay, how often you've heard that? I'm on the wagon or falling off the wagon. People fall off wagons. All right, no one stays 100% clean, so to speak, on their nutrition or 100% on their diet, typically. Okay, if you're never on a wagon, you're never going to fall off it. Okay, and what we want to get over to today in this webinar is how to not be on a wagon. All right, how to be on a lifestyle. If you're on a lifestyle, you can never really fall off it. If you're on a wagon, well, certainly it's a lot harder to fall off. If you're on a wagon, you'll find it pretty easy to fall off, as I'm sure you have, as we all have when we've tried doing it. Now, it's all massively linked to basically people having a lack of direction, looking for quick fixes, and sometimes just not being willing, or sometimes not even being asked, not being bothered about getting a result. Okay, and in which case it's like, why are you trying anyway? So what we want to make sure people have got is this long-term approach. So if you're on the line now looking for a quick fix, looking to literally get everything you want within 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever, then this isn't going to be the webinar for you. Because I'm going to be talking long-term, because everything you've done to date is likely going to have been relatively short-term. All right. So if that continues, the cycle of not getting what you want is going to continue. Okay, if you keep looking for quick fixes or looking in the short term, that's going to crack on. Okay, the reason I've actually, in my businesses, we've actually stopped doing 4-week programs. Don't do like 21-day transformations or anything anymore. Don't let people come and work with us in our personal training or semi-private coaching or fitness camp. Don't let people come in and just do 4 weeks anymore. The reason is, I could get someone to to lose 20 pounds in a month, whatever, for stone, but typically, majority of people, they're going to lose that weight, but they've not made that mental shift. They've not made the lifestyle change in order to truly get what they actually genuinely want and get to where they want to be. And to be honest, where they'll actually deserve to be if they work hard, So we don't do 4-week programs with us anymore. In fact, the minimum to come and work with us in my studio is actually 12 weeks, believe it or not. On the fitness camp, the minimum to come and work with us there is actually 8 weeks. So look, the solution to not having a long-term direction is shooting long-term. One of the things I'm going to be talking to you towards the latter end of the presentation today is talking about goal setting and something called my Core 4. All right, we need to make sure you have a mental shift from looking short-term to looking at your end game. And what we're going to do in the kind of goal setting thing today is actually help you to look for that end game, which is going to be a real big one for you. In terms of nutrition, we're going to go through this as well, and that's the lifestyle nutrition strategy, again, which is looking at an 80-10-10 nutrition strategy. Oftentimes, and I've been guilty of this myself when we're coaching people, is oftentimes we get people where you try and go 100%. 100% is fine for a short time. It's not typically fine for a lifestyle. Okay, for some people, yeah, it can be, or thereabouts. For most people, if they can adopt this 80-10-10, then that's going to be a much better lifestyle approach for them. Not beating yourself up is a big solution here as well. A lot of the time, if people have got a target and everything, and they maybe if they're looking to be real good on their nutrition and everything, and maybe they slip up, they have like a Twix or a donut or sandwich or something, they then spend the rest of the day beating themselves up because they cocked up, or they feel like they're kind of failing. Not beating yourself up is a real big one. Okay, if you're in there for the long game, then over time, there's bound to be little slip-ups. There's bound to be things that aren't quite perfect, but that's absolutely fine. Okay, again, if you're looking for the long term. All right. If you're trying to do something 100% for 2 weeks and you keep slipping up in that, then that's obviously not so great. But long term, if we're looking to craft a great lifestyle which is going to help you lose belly fat and help you get in great shape, then as I said, not beating yourself up is really key. Being consistent is super important as well. There's absolutely bugger all use in doing something half-assed for a short period of time, sacking it off, then maybe doing something else, kind of jumping ship and doing different things, or literally just starting, stopping. You need that consistency. The training needs to be consistent. The nutrition needs to be consistently good. I need to basically be consistently on pretty good form. And I said we'll talk more about that as we go through. Marginal gains versus a rapid attack as well. If someone goes full throttle, then that's great. All very well and good, and yeah, for sure you get great results. But one of the things we like to do with people is actually look for marginal gains as well as, or sometimes instead of that rapid attack. So marginal gains is getting little benefits along the way. For instance, if someone could be like literally just 1% better every day, that's going to have a massive impact over 100 days or over 30-day time period. Okay, so you can do one thing better every day, then that's really going to help you. And again, we're looking long term here, so it doesn't have to be a case of you go 100% full throttle from the outset. Okay, and the next thing is doing something that works for you. All right, not everything is going to work for you. Not everything. Some people get on better with like a diet club. Some people will get on better with a certain personal trainer. Others with another one. Some will do better on a group program. Some will do better, running. Some will do better, lifting heavy weights. Do something that works for you in terms of gets you results and in terms of something you enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, the long term is not going to be there. You have to enjoy it. Okay, if you want to lose belly fat, you want to increase your energy levels, you want to get in awesome shape, it's got to be something that you're going to actually enjoy the process. It's massive. All right, so do it. All right, this is the big one. Is do the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. To get that long-term approach, everything I'm chatting to you about today is geared towards that. So do this stuff. Can't overemphasize that enough. All right, look, as we go through today, I've just popped in a few little transformations just so you can kind of have a little look at the ideas of kind of, you know, where you can be over set amounts of time and all that sort of jazz. So these ones are actually from a 6-week transformation. We actually stopped 6 weeks not long after, about a year after these actually. But yeah, so typical results there. So you can see on the left again, a lot of belly fat's come off, and on the lady on the right there as well. The love handles have got nailed. And again, this is looking at the exact same sorts of things which we're going to be going through today, principle-wise. So look, mistake number 2 is not hitting the right nutrition. Now, nutrition is obviously an absolutely massive one, okay? If your nutrition's crap, you're not going to get a good result. If your training's phenomenal but your nutrition's crap, you're not going to get a great result. So getting the nutrition right is key. And that's often something that people struggle with. Most of the time, it's what people struggle with. It's what I struggle with more than anything, okay, as well as anyone else, you know? I'm exactly the same as you guys on the line. So look, nutrition is the biggest physical element of any fat loss program. By physical, I mean like actually what you do kind of thing, you know. It's more important than the training to an extent, okay? So as I said, you can't out-train a bad diet, all right? It's often something that people neglect and, you know, think, oh, right, I've had a sandwich today which was 400 calories. That just means I need to run an extra 400 calories in the gym, or I've got to go and do this, got to do that, whatever. So people often neglect their nutrition, or they certainly don't give it the attention it deserves, and they just oftentimes think, oh, well, I'll eat an apple instead of a Mars bar and then everything will be great. But it's often not the case there. Okay, most people tend to shoot for low-calorie dieting rather than having the emphasis on quality nutrients as well. I'm actually going to talk to you a bit about low-calorie dieting over on the next slides as well. So if you've done low-calorie diets, so basically most diets, then you're missing a trick. This is a big error, in particular if you're trying to lose belly fat, love handle fat, then you're really missing a trick here. In a nutshell, you know, low-calorie diets and most diets will put an emphasis on weight loss as opposed to fat loss. Okay, so they're not really looking at where the weight's coming from. Typically, and you know, in fact, in every single low-calorie diet, muscle loss will occur. Okay, you'll actually lose muscle. The less muscle you got, the lower or less efficient your metabolism is going to be. So the less calories you actually burn on a day-to-day basis. What studies have shown, diets that have got about 800 to 1200 calories a day can actually use up to 40%, 45% muscle tissue for energy. We do not want to break down a muscle tissue if you want to get in rocking shape. All right. Those diets can also cause weight loss to be too fast, which by doing that can actually promote your body to hold on to fat as a form of defense. All right. Your cortisol, which is your stress hormone levels, can actually get elevated, which can lead to heightened belly fat levels, and your thyroid hormone output can get reduced. Okay? Your thyroid is like your fat loss master gland. All right. And if that's not functioning right, then that's something that's going to have a massive impact. Okay. So low calorie diets, yeah, you get great results to start off with for sure. However, long term isn't the answer. After all, if you're eating 1,000 calories a day and you hit a plateau, and then you start eating 900 calories a day, and you hit a plateau, you then go to 800, hit a plateau, 7. You know, where do you stop? Yeah. All right, so it's pretty key. Basically, metabolism can actually drop by up to about 40%. Okay, and then when you actually start trying to eat normally again, your body's going to think, shit, I need to store this in case we go back into that low calorie consumption. All right. So pretty important to eradicate this mistake. Now, in terms of solutions, this is pretty easy. Well, it's not easy, but it's relatively simple, okay? And I'm going to be talking to you in a reasonable bit of detail here. So look, the best nutrition plan for me isn't the same as it is for you. The best nutrition plan for each of you guys on the line isn't necessarily the same as it is for each other. Okay, so nutrition can actually be different for everyone. It should be different for everyone. Everyone's got different things they like, you know, you've got different tastes, everyone's lifestyles are different, you know, we eat at different times, we train at different times, go to work at different times, go to sleep at different times. We've got different nutrient requirements as well in terms of how much carbs, proteins, fats we need. That can be based on body type, can be based on our, you know, activity level, for instance. So we've got different requirements. The principles of quality nutrition, however, are going to remain pretty constant. All right, you know, an apple is always going to be healthier than a Twix. Broccoli is always going to be healthier than fried broccoli in batter. You know, if anyone ever sells that, I don't know. Could be a good snack actually. But you get me. You know, a chicken breast is going to be better than a KFC. Principles are going to stay the same. You know, the methods can change, but principles rarely will. There's no point doing something you can't maintain or sustain. Okay, so again, we're talking long term is what we want. You know, yeah, you could do like a 4-week diet or a juice fast or whatever, lose a shitload of weight and start feeling all right. But again, that's not going to last. Okay, any of you guys have ever done a shake diet, I can guarantee that you're probably going to be holding more fat now than you were by the time you finish that shake diet. So look, in terms of principles of nutrition for fat loss, and pretty much indeed health, these are kind of 7 things. All right. So eat slowly and stop at 80% full. It's a pretty simple one, but it's one that I suck at. It's one that most people don't think about. But basically, if you're eating too fast, your body's not going to be aware that it's full, okay? But it takes about 15-20 minutes for satiety to kick in. So if you're eating a bit too quick, then your body's actually likely going to you're likely going to end up overeating, okay? Which obviously isn't what we want. So if we're eating too many calories, then yeah, that's going to have a big effect on our fat loss. Getting protein down to every single meal. All right, so you know, typically a lot of people will neglect this. Okay, most of the time, and again, I can guarantee there's people on the line right now who that the only real hit of protein they get in the daytime is in the evening meal when they have like chicken and veg or something, or like a meat pie, whatever, I don't know. But typically, most people won't have a decent hit of protein until the evening. What we want to do is change that. Protein is massive, massive, massive for your metabolism. It's massive for helping your body grow and repair and basically get stronger. Okay, protein is super, super important. Veggies with every meal, or certainly near on every meal. If you can get vegetables and or fruit down with every meal, you're going to get a wide variety of nutrients down your neck, which is what we want. You know, we want the micronutrients and the tiny little ones that help fight cancer and give us extra energy levels and better skin, all that sort of stuff. We want all that stuff. And again, typically a lot of people will neglect that. And again, this is simple stuff. Nothing I'm going to go through today is massive rocket science, all right? But as I said, the principles of quality nutrition will remain the same, and they'll likely remain the same forever, all right? Most of your carbs, this is an important one, most of your carbs, if you're trying to lose fat, in particular like around the love handle area, wants to be post-training. So within about half an hour or so of training, for most people, that's when they want to get a majority of the carbs down. Okay, so things like rice, if you eat pasta or any bread, then again after training is going to be the best time there. If you like your naughtier sugary carbs, then again straight after training is going to be the best time there. In a nutshell, basically your body's better going to utilize them then. You want the carbohydrate to actually get shuttled into the muscles pretty soon after training, along with some proteins there as well. So bulkier carbs after training, and you can't go too far wrong there. You can pretty much go carbless or relatively low or pretty low carb for the rest of your other meals, to be honest, if you're trying to nuke body fat. For most people, that is. Okay, so long as I said we're getting a decent hit straight after training, that's really important. Healthy fats, you want to get those down with most meals. In terms of healthy fats, I'm not talking about fry light. Okay, healthy fats could be something along the lines of avocados, seeds, nuts have got healthy fats in them. Olive oil, so long as you're not cooking with it. Coconut oil's a winner. All those sorts of things. Oily fish to get your omega-3s down. Absolutely massive. Healthy fats are huge for your anabolic hormones. Okay, so the muscle building hormones, the metabolism boosting hormones. Getting healthy fats down. Absolutely essential. If you're someone who's going low fat on your diet, which I still get emails saying I'm going low fat, don't know why I'm not losing weight. It's time to flick that switch. You're much better off going kind of moderate protein, low carb, higher fat, or moderate fat than you are going moderate protein, higher carb, and low or zero fat. All right. Next one, 90% of your food or thereabouts wants to come from single ingredients. Again, this isn't rocket science. A carrot is a single ingredient. Chicken is a single ingredient. Microwave noodles isn't a single ingredient. One ingredient foods. You could pick as many as you want and make a phenomenal meal. So as long as most of your food comes from one ingredient, and you're getting protein with every meal, you're getting a few carbs down, you're getting healthy fats down, you're getting veggies down with most meals, and you're eating pretty slow or pretty steady, you're going to start getting great results if you're not already doing all those things. If you're doing most of them, but not all of them, do the extra couple. In terms of hydration, that's a massive one. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. No Robinsons don't count. All right, so make sure you're drinking plenty of water. I could see Tex smiling then. I know he likes his squash. So yeah, make sure we're getting plenty of water down, guys. You know, about a litre per 50 pounds of body weight is what we typically recommend for most people a lot of the time, particularly in summer. Okay, if your body's dehydrated, you're not going to lose fat. Okay, you know, all functions are going to get inhibited within your body. So being hydrated is absolutely essential to getting in shape and your health in general. In terms of getting the nutrition plan right for you, this is kind of how it wants to look. All right, and this is pretty much as simple as lifestyle nutrition gets. You know, now what we got here is the 80-10-10 rule. All right, so basically what I mean here is 80% of your food wants to come from whole foods, so natural sources. You know, so again, there's certainly single ingredient food. So whole food might be veggies, meat, fish, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices, stuff like that. So 80% of your food wants to come from there. All right, 10% of your food, it depends. It depends on your goals. It could depend on your micronutrient needs. So for instance, some people need to get like more magnesium or more zinc in their bodies, for instance. Or depending on, maybe more antioxidants, depending on their training level or something, for instance. So that 10% kind of depends, all right? And then the other 10% of what you want, okay? So foods that you actually want to eat, so if you want to have want a donut, cool, that's in that 10%. You want a lasagna, cool, that's in that 10%. Yeah, all those sorts of things fill out that 10%. All right, so again, it's 80% food that is like whole food. 10% of food kind of depends on your goals, on your needs, and then 10% of what you want, and eat whatever. As I said, in that 10%, that should be food that you're going to look forward to. Food that it's basically mean you're not restricted. All right. If right now your diet, you're eating kind of 60% of the foods that you want, and only maybe 40% of the quality foods, then if we can start flipping that on its head, that's going to have a massive impact, while still maintaining your ability to actually eat some of the stuff that you like. And if you want to get results, it's an absolutely phenomenal way to do it. And I said, you don't want to feel like you're on a diet. And if you're doing this, then, once you get it dialed in and everything, you're not going to feel like you're on a diet. What we want to do here is craft a lifestyle. And that's the most important thing, is making sure we're going to craft a lifestyle. Now, here's the thing as well. With that 80% and the other 10% and the other 10%, it's all about food you like. There's absolutely no point in me giving someone a diet plan and it containing loads of, it could contain loads of, turkey and sprouts, for instance, and saying, right, you've got to eat turkey, you've got to eat sprouts, you've got to eat salmon or mackerel or whatever. There's no point in me saying that to someone if they hate those foods or if they're allergic to freaking oily fish or something. There's no point, okay, because they're not going to stick to it. They're not going to enjoy it. All right, so it's important that you actually enjoy the foods you eat. So that 80% of wholesome natural foods, make it foods you like. Easy. If you don't like freaking sprouts, don't eat them. If you like broccoli, eat it. If you like kale, eat it. If you don't like spinach, don't eat it. I'm all for trying new things, absolutely. And if you're someone who's real fussy with like eating veggies and stuff, then you'll have to man up a bit. But certainly make sure the bulk of your food is actually stuff that you like. And it's real important because you need to make changes which you're actually going to stick with. Changes that are going to be long term. Changes that are going to help you to nuke that belly fat, nuke that love handle fat, get your energy levels high, and actually start getting the body that you want, while living the lifestyle that you want. Yeah. As for that glass of wine, that'll go in that 10% as well. Again, so it's got to be changes you can stick to. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to not feel like you're on a diet. And the ultimate aim is basically to keep your nutrition 80 to 90% great 100% of the time. If you like that, then that's going to be pretty much bang on the money. If someone's 100% on it, or 100% clean, so to speak, 25% of the year, what good is that going to do them? If the other 75% of the year, their diet is more 60-40 or 40-60. You're going to do much, much better long term, as I said, sticking 80 to 90% pretty much all the time. Obviously, if you go on holiday or something, then it's quite likely that percentage will drop down maybe to 70-30 or 60-40, whatever. But Again, most of the time, if you can stay 80 to 90% pretty good, then you're going to be winning, going to get great results. So look, mistake number 3, not doing the right training. This is one that I can pretty much guarantee everyone has done, or maybe even is doing right now, not doing the right training. And this is critical. By not doing the right training, I'm talking about too much of the wrong type of cardio, for instance. Doing loads of sit-ups in the hope that it's going to give you a good set of abs. I can guarantee that there's going to be a couple of people on the line who have already done their sit-ups for the day. You know, doing a shite load of sit-ups, a shite load of planks, all that sort of stuff, various different crunches, that's going to help you in terms of maybe building up the endurance for your abdominal muscles, but they're not going to be, it's not going to be doing anything for actually burning away the fat which is covering them. There's no point, well, I mean, there's very little point you'll get no aesthetic pleasure, so to speak, from having a great set of abs if it's hidden under 30% body fat or 40% body fat. Okay, so the key is to make sure you're nuking that body fat so we can actually reveal that good looking torso, because spot reduction isn't going to happen. So if you're still doing loads of sit-ups, just sack it off, and you do much better to spend that 10 minutes a day de-stressing, which we'll talk to you about a little bit later on. Home exercise DVDs, again, they can be great for some people for sure, but certainly a lot of them aren't going to get you that long-term result. Okay, a lot of them you'll see, 8-minute abs, 9-minute abs, whatever, or like some celebrities 21-day belly blast or whatever, again, not looking for that longer term result. Home exercise equipment typically ends up as a towel stand for most people, or somewhere for the kids to bounce up and down a stability board or whatever. Winging it in the gym, that's also not a winner. I mean, I could again pretty much guarantee that a lot of people on the line have gone, signed up for gyms, gone in there, thought, right, I'm going to go and do X, Y, and Z, and then actually kind of binned it off and gone on to like a cross trainer or something, a treadmill instead, okay, or even just gone and just freestyled it and just not knowing what to do, hitting like high reps on each machine or burning X number of calories on whatever equipment before moving on to the next one. So winging it in the gym isn't going to get you the body that you want typically. The next one's a real pain in the arse for people. It's unreliable friends. A lot of the time, and this is interesting, a lot of the time I get people coming in for consultation or transformation sessions or emailing me in. And one of the big complaints from people who have gone to the gym is, I used to go to the gym, or I like to go to the gym, but the person I used to go with always let me down. She stopped coming. She'd arranged to be there and wasn't there, or he just wouldn't bother turning up or whatever, And that's quite a big one, because if you've geared yourself up to go to the gym with your best mate, and then you're gunning for it and you're going to go to the gym with that person, and then suddenly they text you and I can't be asked. Suddenly, oh right, yeah, I can't be asked either, and then you just sack it off. We've all done it. It's a pain in the arse. That's a real pain in the ass. Not working hard enough. This is a massive one. A lot of the time, people think they are working hard enough when they're really not. Okay, someone like, I'm not into bodybuilding or anything really, but prime example of people working hard enough and understanding the amount of work required to get a result is like bodybuilders. The amount of pain and stress they put their body through in order to get that result that they're after is pretty phenomenal. Okay, majority of people won't come close to that within their training. They won't go past a certain point. Okay, so not willing to take their body through a certain level, for instance, when really if they want to get the result, they need to. Now obviously, I'm going to talk to you a bit more as we go through about training and everything, and when to go hard, when to ease off, and certainly all your training doesn't have to be maximal, doesn't have to be super hard, but you do need to make sure you're working super hard at the right intensity at the right times. Okay, it's really important to actually push through that barrier. If you're just all the time in the gym and just repping up 20, 30 reps or something and just chatting to your friend the whole time, then again, you ain't working hard enough. If you go in the gym for 2 hours, you're not working hard enough. 100%. You come to the gym, you come to the studio, spend 45 minutes with me, I'll show you what hard work is right there. And they're much more effective than spending 2-3 hours in the gym, which a lot of people do. Okay, so if you're doing that, just sack it off. And again, we want to start looking at efficiency. Take what I talked to you about today, implement it. Ab toning gadgets, like the slender tones or whatever they are. There's little things that pulse, stick them on your belly, and that will magically get you ripped abs. They don't really work. Certainly not going to get you shredded. Okay, using light weights for high reps is going to do very little for you, other than giving your muscles a bit more endurance. Okay. And hitting loads of random exercise classes isn't going to be the thing to do either. You need to have some structure, you need to have some progression, and you need to do something that's actually going to get you a result. Okay, if you want to nuke that belly fat, want to nuke the love handles, get the energy levels up and start feeling awesome again and looking how you want to look. So look, in terms of the solutions to the not doing the right training, do the right training. All right? And that's it. Just do the right stuff. Now, the right stuff can be different for different people. You know, different people's bodies are made up differently. You've got different levels of different muscle fibers, for instance. We respond differently to different stimuli and different types of training. So you know, what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for someone else. You know, I've had people get great fat loss results from, you know, doing like 3 or 4 weight sessions a week and nothing else. I've had some people get great results from doing 3 or 4 runs a week and not a great deal else in terms of fat loss. Okay, you know, if someone's just running, then they're going to lose a little bit of muscle. But in terms of losing fat, yeah, we've got people in shape by doing, you know, 3 or 4 of the right runs a week. You know, people's bodies will respond differently to different types of training, so it does differ. But for the majority of people, we found that most people actually respond really well to 3 or 4 metabolic resistance training sessions a week and a bit of additional cardio if they've got time. The spine of most people's program needs to be that metabolic resistance training. So full body workouts predominantly, which are going to do wonders for actually elevating the metabolism, helping them to build some lean muscle mass, and actually start getting that metabolism sky high even after they finish training for up to 24, maybe even 48 hours. So they burn a ton of calories in their own time using the afterburn, it's called. All right, so that's what works for a lot of people. So that's, you know, a very, very good place for you to start. It's full body conditioning sessions. Okay, 3 or 4 times a week. Make sure you've got about a day off in between. You want to use exercise which are going to stimulate the most muscle fibers. So big compound lifts need to be in there. So if you're in the gym, you need to be doing things like squats with weight on your back, deadlifting if you can, if it's appropriate for you. But if you've got a back problem, probably not. Bench pressing, pulling exercises, all exercises which are going to use multiple joints. Okay, so things that will cause a great deal of metabolic disturbance, things that will cause you to use a great deal of muscle fibers as well. Okay, the training wants to be progressive and it wants to be structured as well. Those 2 things will go hand in hand. If you're just doing random workouts all the time, it will get you so far for like a month, 6 weeks. But after that time, it's likely going to stop. The results will stop. Okay, you know, because you're not actually training for something which is, you're not actually training. You're just kind of working out. Okay, you need to know when to ease off and when to go harder as well. That's when it can be helpful to have a coach, so someone who kind of, you know, maybe knows your body as well as anyone can. You know, can tell you, yeah, you need to ease off now, or yeah, today we can just smash it because you're in a good place or whatever. So it's important to know that you can't just go hard all the time. Similar to that, you can't just go easy all the time because you just get nowhere. So what we do with doing the right training, you basically need specific stimuli to cause specific adaptations within your body to get a specific outcome. So in a nutshell, do the right training that's going to have the right impact on your body, which is going to get you the result you want. And that's the difference between training and working out. If someone's just doing random workouts all the time, they're not actually training their bodies most of the time. Okay, they're working out rather than training their bodies to actually get to that end result. Now, one of the questions I get asked quite a lot is whether someone should do high-intensity interval training or steady-state cardio. This is a big one. It's something I've spoken about before, but we'll go through it today. If you don't know, high-intensity interval training is kind of shorter, sharper, hard efforts with a bit of rest in there. So if you're doing like maybe do a bit of a warm-up, then do a 20-second sprint, 40-second rest, 20-second sprint, 40-second rest. Something along those lines. Steady-state cardio, I'm talking about, going out for a run for half an hour, or cross-training for a bit, or something along those lines. They've each got their benefits and negatives for sure. HIIT training, if you're doing that 5 or 6 days a week, it's going to end up having a negative negative impact on you. Okay, it's basically going to cause your nervous system to kind of get fatigued, and your results should actually diminish, and you'll stop getting the results. You'll actually cause too much stress on your body, for instance. Steady state cardio, your body can easily adapt to it, so doing more is required. If I was to run 4 miles at an 8-minute mile every single day for a month, the first time I do it, it might burn, 300 calories. By the end of the month, if I've done that exact same pace, the exact same time, the exact same day, for instance, I'm going to be burning less energy because my body's become more efficient, because your body adapts to it real quick and real easy. All right. High intensity training is not so great if you've got joint problems or cardiac problems, and it's harder psychologically as well. So, you know, it's really hard sometimes for some people to make themselves go balls out on a sprint, for instance. So there's that impact there, or that effect. The steady state stuff on the flip side can be pretty boring and take too long. The HIIT training is actually better for sparing your muscle, whereas the steady state stuff can potentially lead you to actually lose some muscle mass, but on the flip side is a bit better for active recovery. So they've got their pluses and minuses. HIIT training will burn less fat during the session, but more fat after, because that's going to have a big impact on your metabolism. The steady state stuff will burn more fat during the sessions, a bit less after. So in terms of which is best, I mean, you know, it can be a bit of a personal thing. But you know, if you're looking to get in phenomenal shape, then it might well be that you need actually a mix of the two. All right, cool. So that's just a result we did on a lad. That was for a men's health competition. Actually, I think we come 6th or 7th as well, which is pretty cool. You know, that was a 11-week transformation. Now it's just what we got out on the screen. We basically with Chris there, we took him from just doing random training to then doing a structured program using the exact same things I was talking about there. So big compound lifts, you know, full body workouts a few times a week, and hitting the nutrition hard as well. Right, mistake 4, people not have an emphasis on outside the box stuff. Okay, now there's quite a lot in here, and this could potentially be, you know, easily like a 3-hour presentation on its own. So I might go through this one a little bit quicker. All right, but basically, if you're not thinking outside the box and you're just thinking about training and nutrition, you're going to be missing a trick. Most people will neglect their lifestyle things, so that, you know, they just think on training, just think about nutrition, but they're not looking at things like sleep. They're not looking at things like stress. They're not looking at things like happiness. And the effect that can actually have on your results as well. So you're missing a trick there. So that 1 or 2 dimensional approach, so just training or just nutrition or just the two of them, never actually is going to work long term. Because you need more than that in your life in order to get true transformation and true fantastic results. Looking at stress, stress is a massive problem. There's just some stats here. 44% of people feel more stressed than they did 5 years ago. Work stress causes 10% of strokes. Basic causes 6% of diseases or illnesses is stress related. 3/4 of doctor visits are actually stress related. It increases your heart disease risk by 40%, heart attack risk by 25%, and stroke by 40%. Stress sucks. All right, so stress really isn't. You know, it's not the greatest thing. It's got its benefits for sure in terms of, you know, short-term stress, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But basically, you know, when you're getting stressed, you know, your heart rate can get elevated, your blood pressure can go up, you can sweat, anxiety, you know, your focus can drop, you can't do simple things or, you know, deal with situations easily. You get mentally fatigued, feel lethargic, your concentration drops, your tense muscles, your breathing rate gets elevated. Motivation can go down. You can get irritable, pissed off, depressed, withdrawn. You can turn to substance abuse or, you know, eating the wrong foods and just binging and stuff. Belly problems like IBS, headaches, migraines. Your sleep can suck. Your sex drive can go down. Stress sucks. All right, if you're chronically stressed, you're in a bad place right now. We need to help you out. All right, and you know, with regard to all that stuff as well, you know, cortisol, the stress hormone, is massively linked to belly fat storage as well. So if you're stressed, chances are, as well as losing a load of muscle mass, you're actually going to be storing a load of extra fat around the belly as well. So look, in terms of sleep, this is a big one. Basically, if you're not getting enough sleep, you know, we're kind of, again, missing a big trick here. You need more sleep. I mean, if you're not getting, like, you know, 6 to 8 hours a night, really, preferably closer to 8, and again, I suck at this a lot of the time, then you're missing a trick there. Okay, so you know, you end up with less cortisol first thing in the morning, which is actually when you want them. Which is basically if your hormonal levels are pretty much bang on, first thing in the morning you should bounce out of bed feeling good with energy. Okay, if they're not, because for instance you've got, you know, too much of the stress hormone, adrenaline, like, throughout the rest of the day, then you're going to wake up tired, lacking energy, and thinking, shit, where's the coffee? All right. Then throughout the rest of the day, you can have excess release of the stress hormone. So you can have basically not enough at the right time and then too much at the wrong times. So your body's basically, you know, constantly preparing itself for activity without actually any activity taking place, which is going to lead to increased fat storage. Again, in particular, in and around the belly, where you've actually got more kind of cortisol receptors. Okay, so it's, again, it's not great. You can actually end up with like compensation patterns. So things like hitting coffee, or going for like the sugary or high carb snacks and everything, just because your energy levels suck. Okay, so that's one of the couple of compensation patterns that can happen there as well. Okay, which isn't great as well, because obviously if that's going to happen, then that's going to have all sorts of other implications for like your fat storage in terms of your insulin response, blood sugar levels, all that sort of stuff. Cravings, that's going to be affected by that as well. Okay, studies will show that if you are not sleeping enough, you actually crave more of the sugary, maybe salty foods as well. Again, if we're doing that, not great. Your brain's basically sending out signals because it needs quick energy. Okay, because it's not had enough sleep, not repaired enough. It needs that quick energy. Likely going to lead you to have poorer food choices, and actually over a day, again, studies will show that you'll actually increase your calorie intake over the day if you're not getting enough sleep. Your recovery is going to suck, okay? Physical repair typically in your sleep will happen between about 10 o'clock and 2 a.m. So you're going to miss out on a lot of that physical repair. Your psychological recovery is going to struggle as well. That's typically about 2 to 6 a.m. So if you're not sleeping those times, you're really going to struggle to repair that in that way. Your ability to cope with stress, which we kind of spoke about already, and your body's just basically not going to work so great. Okay, and that's what it comes down to. So stress and sleep is really going to suck if you're trying to get yourself in shape, trying to nuke your belly fat, trying to get your energy levels up and everything. In terms of solutions for beating off the stress and actually getting enhancing your sleep, we've got a couple of things here for you. In terms of stress, you've got to understand you're never going to get rid of all stress from your life, and that'd actually be unproductive. Stress is good in terms it's going to help you grow, but at a certain level. If you're acute stress, for instance, like training stress at the right time potentially, or having to run away from a saber-toothed tiger, whatever, that can be good for you and everything, and help your body to develop its coping mechanisms and everything. Chronic stress, on the other hand, where you're stressed all the freaking time, that's not good for you. It's really not good. If you're chronically stressed, then your body's constantly producing too much cortisol, which is stress hormone. Your adrenal glands are going to end up in overdrive and can potentially actually end up pretty much burning out, which can have all sorts of negative implications for you there, because it's one of your big metabolism regulators. Okay, that's actually, if your adrenal function drops, your thyroid hormone output can actually increase to kind of overcompensate. Over time, if your thyroid's been working too hard, that can actually end up burning out as well. So you can actually have a hypothyroidism, which isn't great, because that's then, like I said, a big one for weight gain as well. So, I didn't do that there. So look, balance is massively essential when it comes to beating stress. Okay, it says you do need some stress in your life, but it's got to be balanced. Try and focus more on activities that are going to promote your resting state, as opposed to being stressed all the time. Okay, so a couple of things here, like and do what works for you. So bit of chill out time, yoga, reading, baths, hot tubs, music, massage, meditation, candles, any of that stuff. If you're into some like voodoo hippie shit, then go for it. Whatever works for you. I don't care what it is, just do it. The state is more important than the activity. Okay, if I was to go and do some like meditation or something, chances are if I had a load of stuff in my mind, that stuff would still stay on my mind, because I'd be in a quiet place and all I'd have there would be my thoughts, and it would just make me even more stressed. If I went and did something else, like I went for a run or like a swim, or went and just hung out with some friends in a hot tub or something, that sounds fun. Then chances are it's going to help me de-stress more. So do things that are going to give you 20 or 30 minutes worry-free, restful time every day. If need be, if you can't do that, just find 5 minutes quiet time a couple of times a day, and that'll still have a big impact on your stress levels. And as I said, what we want to do is reduce the amount of stress in your life, so that we can actually help to, one of the things to help to tap into those belly fat stores there, for instance. In terms of making your sleep better, there's loads of stuff you can do, but here's 5 easy ones. Get the room as dark as possible, obvious reasons. Bed by 10 o'clock as often as you can. Doesn't have to be every night. If right now you go to bed at midnight 7 nights a week, if you can suddenly go to bed at 10 o'clock 2 nights a week, that's going to be quite a bit better than midnight every single night. Yeah. So again, marginal gains. Do what you can. Again, without overstressing it. If suddenly you're trying to force yourself to get to bed at 10 o'clock, and that's ended up stressing you out because you're not done what you need to do for the next day or something, then again, that maybe even have a negative effect. So again, it needs to be something that's going to fit in with your lifestyle. And again, that's why we look at the long-term approach, as opposed to just saying, right, do this, and just making everyone do the exact same stuff. So it's important, whatever you're doing, fit it in with your lifestyle. Winding down before you go to bed, whether that's like reading some a novel or whatever, or just something really boring, then just winding down. Try not to have like too much stimulation before bed. So like sack off too much TV or arguments. That's a big one. Anything like that before bed, or phone calls or texting and Facebook and stuff. Again, try and limit that stuff to at least an hour before bed. If you can make your room a bit cooler as well, that's quite a big one. As if you ever tried sleeping in a hot climate with no aircon, then you'll kind of know, it's not great at sleeping. It makes it quite a bit harder. So if you can make your room between about 15 and 18 degrees, or thereabouts, 15 and 20, you typically find you'll have a much better night's sleep. All right, the big thing as well with all of this stuff is building a lifestyle around it. And having something kind of outside of the, just looking at the training and nutrition. So we're talking about building a lifestyle here. I mean, that's just a bit from Ultimate Body Club. It's just one of the prime examples of what we do there, where the focus obviously is on getting people in great shape. But we also put a big emphasis on the lifestyle side of things and actually helping people to get more out of the program than just coming and training and eating a bit better. Some of the girls go off on holidays together actually the other day, which is interesting. Some of the stories from there. Having something outside of just the training and nutrition is important. And looking outside the box of if someone's purely looking to I've got to drop belly fat. Okay, that's cool, but a lot of time it's good to have something outside the box to have another goal to train for. So these girls there, they did the Challenge Weymouth Triathlon as like a relay, which is quite cool. So having a lifestyle thing is pretty important. So stuff outside of the box, okay, is basically what we look at. All right, mistake 5. This is a big one. This is something I spoke to someone around a little while ago. Spoke to someone about a little while ago. You might have had an email from me. And training too hard and too much. This can be a massive one for some people. Most people on the line won't be doing this, but it's important to kind of think about it. In a nutshell, if you're training too hard, too much, doing the wrong stuff, then you're going to have too much of a stress response. You're going to be putting your body under too much stress. It could potentially lead you to burnout, lose your motivation, lose your mojo, start hating training and just go well and truly off the rails. Also going to end up in increased cortisol levels. I spoke about the stress response there. Your loss of muscle mass, for instance, as your body starts kind of kicking into catabolism, which isn't what you want, which is going to mean your metabolism ends up dropping and results will end up dropping as well. Okay, if you're overstressing your body from just general stress and you're then overstressing it with training stress, you're going to have a real negative impact on yourself. Okay, so it's really important to make sure we're not just smashing yourself to bits. It's why going to a boot camp kind of five days a week or 6 days a week really isn't the greatest thing to do. If someone's going there and the purpose is to basically thrash yourself as hard as you can, or you're going and doing again random workouts or random HIIT classes or whatever, 5-6 days a week, then again you're not going to get the results. Yeah, you'll do all right for a bit, but after a while it's going to kick in and you really your performance is going to diminish quite considerably. If you're doing higher intensity workouts, they need to have more rest time in between them. All right, so the solution in terms of that is basically plan your training, listen to your body, implement the plan, but kind of adapt to it as well, and listen to advice from someone who knows what I'm on about as well. It's pretty important. So you want to avoid these high intensity sessions too frequently. Again, if you've got too much of a stress response going on, again, that's going to cause you to hold too much belly fat. This lady I had in the other day was doing all these high intensity classes all the time, doing a boot camp a couple of times a week, doing X, Y, and Z, pretty stressed lifestyle, and just basically stressing the body far too much. She'd not got results in months, and was actually kind of scared to take a day off. And the reason she didn't work with me in the end is because I told her if she wanted to work with me, then she had to take a couple of days off and do the stuff I told her to do if she wanted to get results. And she wasn't prepared to do that, so she didn't work with me, which is absolutely fine. But I can guarantee that the poor lady now is still struggling with the belly fat and not getting those results because I can guarantee that she's most likely still doing all that high intensity training, overstressing her body, overstimulating her adrenal glands and stuff by hitting things like caffeine and those energy drinks and whatever else which she was having. So that's not a great thing there. So we've got to avoid though doing that stuff too often. They're great if you're using them at the right time and the right duration, the right frequency. Otherwise, it's like, if you're trying to hammer a nail with a sponge, for instance, or so along those lines. So we need to have some structure to your program and not just do every single training class under the sun. You want progressive overload, so your body wants to progressively adapt to the stimulus that you're giving it. Okay, you need some rest days in there. If you're not having a rest day every week, then again you'll be missing a trick. Even professional triathletes will have a rest day. Certainly every couple of weeks. People train like 40 hours a week or something. Everyone needs to have rest days, so it's super important to make sure you get them. Okay, don't be afraid of resting and recovering. You're not suddenly going to get fat because you're having a day off training. If your body needs a day off training, then have a day off. Rest, recover. Your body's going to grow and repair and get you in better shape when it's resting. Okay, if it was as easy as just training all the time, then probably more people would be in great shape. But a lot of time people aren't willing to rest. Okay, so it's really important. So it's important to have that balance. It's also important to make sure you've got the nutrition right as well, because if you're not fueling your training right, then you're not going to get those results either. Okay, if you're doing a shitload of training or shitload of workouts and you're not fueling your body correctly, if you're doing a high intensity workout and you're eating 1,000 calories a day, it's not going to help you out. Your performance is going to suck. Your body's not going to be able to cope with the demand. Okay, your body's going to think, shit, I can't have all this muscle mass because that's burning too much energy. Let's break that shit down. So nutrition's really important. All right, so this was we all spoke about this one already. So again, that's just looking at basically training and not being afraid to take a couple of days off. With Alana there, she was training initially. I think she was doing like 3 or 4 training sessions a week. I think now she would typically do maybe 5 or thereabouts. So again, this girl here have a couple of days off a week, 1 day off a week certainly, and again, long-term, lasting, kick-ass results. All right, number 6. This one is a real big one. And again, I can spend a good amount of time on this, and that's not having direction. This was actually going to be the first mistake I was going to go through today, but I figured I'd stick it at number 6 instead. So this is why most people fall down early on in their efforts to get in shape, because they don't have the direction. They don't know where they're going, And it's something which can be fixed pretty simply. But it does often requires a bit of soul searching and actually digging quite deep within yourself in order to find out exactly why you want something. Okay, so it's important to find out, where you want to be and why you want to be there. All right, so what I'm going to talk to you about now is exactly that. So if you don't have direction, get some. All right, so you need to find out what you want, why you want it, and when you want it by. Okay, so I'll go back to that slide. So in terms of what you want, we want some specifics there. All right. There's very little use in being vague and saying, Andy, I want a smaller belly. All right, cool. I want a smaller belly. Great. There's little use in saying that. You need to be a bit more specific with it because you're not going anywhere. You're just going to some vague direction called smaller belly land. All right, might exist, might not. So it's important to kind of know, where you want to be. So, one of the things we do here is assess people via the ultrasound. Ultrasound gizmo, which will tell us their body composition and measures different sites of the body and sees how much fat, thickness of fatty tissues in various sites. So, for instance, a lot of the time when we've got clients in, one of their targets, the target they want will be to get to a certain body fat percentage. For you, it might be to get to a certain weight where you've been most comfortable or most happy. It might be to drop down 2 clothes sizes. So get back down to a size 8 or a size 10 or a 12, wherever you used to be happiest, which you're not right now. Going to talk about why you want it as well. So why is it that you want that? If you decided, right, I want to be a size 8 and I'm currently a size 12. Why do you want to be that? And don't just say because I do, because it's not just because you do. Or if it is just because you do, then you're probably not going to get it. Okay, so we want to find out why you want it. So, ask yourself the question. What we do, we kind of peel the onion, so to speak. So we keep asking why at least 5 times so we can get down and really find out the core reason. So it might be like, look, all right, why do you want to be a size 8? because right now my clothes don't feel great. Right? Why don't they feel great? Because at the minute my waist 2 inches bigger than it used to be, and since having kids, I've let myself go. Whatever. Keep asking why. Keep asking why. Keep asking why. At least 5 or 6 layers on that onion until eventually you get down to the deep reason. All right. It's really important to actually do that. We often have people coming into the studio when we do this with them. A lot of the time they'll get emotional or they cry, or because we just dig deep and we find that reason, that pinpoint, exactly why someone wants to get in shape. Okay, so it's important to find that, because when you've got that why factor, that's going to make the whole getting there a bit easier. You're obviously still going to have to do the work, but you're going to have that big why behind you, pushing you forwards, which is real important. You also want to know when you want it by as well. Okay, so again, it's all very well and good knowing what you want, why you want it, but we want to know when you want it by as well. Okay, so if otherwise it's just an open-ended goal where it's like you don't give a shit if you get there in 12 weeks or 12 years. Okay, so put a date on it, a realistic date as well. Don't say yesterday or tomorrow. Okay, so look, again, hopefully you're thinking about this right now, what you want and why you want it, and then when you want it by. So look, this is one thing that we do with people, okay? Because we want to talk about the long game, which you'll do when you're kind of finding out your why and exactly where you want to be. And one of the things we like to do with people is do their 30, 60, 90s, okay? Which is looking at a 90-day goal, and this is pretty cool. 90 days isn't all that far away. All right, and what we like to do is pick a 90-day goal. So I've given you an example, and this is a genuine diagram on my board, which I wrote for you guys today, so you can be impressed with that. But this is an example. So this person right now, this fictitious person, they put their target as dropping 20 pounds and losing 7% body fat, okay, over the 90 days. On day 1, so when they're starting out, they're 26% body fat and 170 pounds. All right, that means that if they need to lose 7% body fat within 90 days, that means that they want to lose about 2.3% body fat every 30 days. All right, so suddenly we then know that at day 30, they need to be down to 23.6% or thereabouts. Day 60, they need to be down at 21.3%. And then by day 90, if all is going according to plan, they should be in and around 19% body fat. So losing about 2.3%, 2.4% a month. Not beyond the wit of man when you break it down. In terms of weight, they're basically looking at losing about 7 pounds a month. Okay, again, not beyond the wit of man there. Okay, so what we like to do is actually break it down like that. So if someone said, right, I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 12 weeks, that 20 pounds could feel a long way off. That can feel a long way off, and that can end up causing someone to feel a bit demotivated. Imagine if you did that for 6 months. Oh, I want to lose 50 pounds over 6 months. And that's all you're aiming for is 6 months down the line. There's nothing in between. So what we want to do, as I said, is break that down. And then we've got victories coming along the way. So when this person gets to day 30 and they've dropped 2.4% body fat and they're down to 23.6% from 26, they're like, shit, I'm winning. I'm winning. Or even, might even get down to 23%. It's like, wow, I'm really winning. Oh, I'm doing well. So they're getting that victory at day 30. Once they've got that victory at day 30, they can go to day 60's goal. They can move on to that. If for any reason they get to day 30 and they've not hit the goal, they can reassess things. Maybe their goal wasn't realistic for them to start off with. Maybe it was. Maybe they did really well in that first month. They lost 4% body fat. Maybe they can lose more over the time, whatever. But okay, so it gives you that chance to readjust if you need to. But what they want to do is everything they can to get from day 1 to day 30, hitting that target, hitting that 7 pounds down, hitting that 2.4% body fat down. And then again, we work to day 60, then to day 90. They get to day 90, then 19% body fat. They've lost 7% body fat. That's pretty good. And they're down 150 pounds. They're feeling freaking awesome. Yeah? We're going to talk to you a little bit about a bit more about that in a minute as well. One of the things we like to do as well is we've got that, the 30, 60, 90s. We like to pick 4 things, just 4, that someone can do every single week without fail to take them towards that 30-day goal, which will take them towards their 60-day goal, which will take them towards their 90-day goal. So 4 things. Those 4 things, get them to write them down, stick it on a fridge and check it off every single week. Yes, I've done 1, I've done 2, I've done 3, I've done 4. Those 4 things are things that they know that if they do those 4 things every single week without fail, they pretty much can't fail to get to that 90-day target. You know, those 4 things might literally be as simple as getting to all their training sessions could be number 1. You know, number 2 could be preparing all their meals from scratch and making sure they've got protein at every meal. You know, number 3 could be making sure that they are, you know, having a salad for lunch 3 days a week instead of a sandwich. You know, any 4 things which are going to have a big impact on their lives in terms of their results, but 4 things that they can think, right, I'll do that every single week without fail. That's going to get me there. Those 4 things that aren't going to have a massive impact in terms of like just affecting their life, like on any sort of, you know, in terms of the fact that it might take a shitload of time or overwhelm or something. It's literally 4 things that they can do to get towards their goal at day 30, day 60 and day 90. Super important. You guys can all do this as well. You can all do it. It's simple. Pretty simple stuff. I said nothing we go through is rocket science today, but it's all stuff which is going to be a massive game changer for you if you truly do want to get to the place where your body is looking, feeling as you want it to, where you started losing that belly fat, your tummy's tightened up, the love handles started pulling in, you know, the arse is lifted, and you know, you're just smiling a whole lot more. Being accountable is massive. So with these 30, 60, 90-day targets, what I like to do is get people to write them up on my accountability board in the studio. So I should say our accountability board, because it's not mine. All right, so that's what we're doing. That's Jeff there. He wiped out his first target the other day, which was to get below, 17 stone. So he had that up there, and then he's got his next target below, then his next target below that. So he's got his 30, 60, 90 up on the board. He's accountable. Every time he comes in the studio, that goal's there staring him in the face. This guy's maybe missed 1 session in 8 weeks, which is pretty awesome. Okay, he comes in 3 times a week. I said he's maybe made 23 out of 24 sessions, which is great. He's kicking ass because he's got those targets up there. He knows what he wants, why he wants it, and he's just dominating life right now. Again, it's another lady, one of our girls. She had a little interim target on there, which was literally to be able to do 10 press-ups. When she first came in, she couldn't do shit. You know, she couldn't do 1 press-up. I think she couldn't really do 1 on the knees. But within, I think it was by the end of her by the end of her 3rd week, I think she smashed out her first set of 10. Okay, so again, a little interim target up there. We've got a couple of other targets for Kerry up there as well, and you know, said another person who's just really kicking ass basically. So being accountable is massive, and doing that 30, 60, 90, and getting that shit written down is really important. Getting those 4 things written up and chucking them on the fridge or in your bed or in your wallet or in your car, again, really important. I've got all my training program for my marathon which I'm running. That's all written up on a board at the moment. I've got that on my pin board. Printed out. Every time I've done a session, I strike it off. I actually feel like a kid every time I strike it off. I think, right, gold star. I start patting myself on the back. It's real important. All right, mistake number 7. Not having a roadmap. And this is the last one. So hopefully everything we've gone through so far has made sense and it's helping you out. And you're actually benefiting from what we've gone through so far. So the last one we're going through, I said, is not having a roadmap. If you don't know where you're going, you're likely not going to get there. All right? Hopefully you kind of, by doing the things we've talked about in mistake number 6 and the solution there, hopefully by doing that, you're actually going to find out where you're going. Okay? We also need to know how you're going to get there as well. So you need to plan your route. Because again, it's all very well and good knowing where you're going to go. But if you don't know how to get there, then you're likely going to be sat at the bus station not knowing which bus to get on. Or if you get on a bus, you don't know if it's going to go the right way. So again, it's pretty important. In terms of solution to that, this is one of the things I like to do. This is my trademark diagram. You may have seen it. This is a trademark diagram. All right. Basically, on the left-hand side, if that's you today, like right now, think about how you're feeling in terms of where you're at in relation to your target. In relation to where you want to be. I mean, think about how you're feeling. It might be, right now. This is all to do with your why factor. Okay, this is often quite a lot to do with your why factor. So, for instance, that little sad face where people are right now. Someone might be feeling that way because they're feeling crap about themselves because they're lacking confidence. They don't like looking in a mirror. It might be that they are, they're just really struggling. Okay, or they're fed up with being in the cycle of dieting, cheating, and just falling off wagons and all the negative stuff we talked about. If you think right now, if you've got an idea about where you want to be in, say, 12 weeks, 90 days, if you think about that right now, what I like to do is get people to think about how that will feel to get there. If someone's target right now, I said, like the example on the board, if someone's target there is to go from being pissed off and miserable at 170 pounds and 26% body fat, and their target is to get to 19% and be about 150 pounds, which is where they used to feel really confident, really happy, where they met their husband or whatever. Thinking about how that person's then going to feel in 12 weeks' time when they hit that target. Okay, how would you feel, for instance, 12 weeks' time if you go from where you're at right now and how you're feeling right now to where you want to be in 12 weeks' time, 90 days' time? How's that going to feel for you? In that questions box, guys, just type in there. Just tell me. I mean, what would it mean to you to get there in 12 weeks' time to be sat where you want to be? Again, just pipe up in there. How are you going to feel 12 weeks' time compared to now? Maybe you're going to feel happier. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel generally better. You're going to feel healthier. Your energy levels are going to be higher. All those things. So it's really important to kind of know where we're heading towards. And I said we need to know how we're going to get there as well. So having that roadmap is really important, yeah? Cool, we've got sense of achievement written in there. Brilliant, great stuff. And that's a big one for a lot of people is feeling like they're succeeding. And on that note, Rachel, the sense of achievement thing, that's real big in terms of the those 30, 60, 90s we do, and even the core four. All those things are geared towards giving you success along the way and helping you stay on track. So imagine again, if you can even just striking off on the fridge 4 things every single week, that gives you that little sense of success every single week. Again, you hit that 30-day target, big sense of success. 60 days, again, good sense of success. 90 days, bang, winning. Oh, what's this one? Cool, so Yvonne, we're feeling like we've got our life back after years of living in the dark. All right, that's a big one. Jess, I feel everything, a lot more confident. Ellie, more self-esteem and confidence. Confidence seems massive. We've got Becky here as well. More confident, more attractive. Feel like I'm succeeding, not losing. That's a big one there, Andy. Nice, I like it. So all those things, real important. So that's 12 weeks' time from now. If your long-term target is longer than 12 weeks, that's absolutely fine. If you've got like a 6-month target, for instance, that's cool. So you want to have that 6-month target in mind, but then again, break that down. Like, right, 6 months' time, I want to be 50 pounds down. Okay, that's my end game. Okay, cool. So what do I need to do within the next 90 days? All right, cool. So, I'll be halfway to my target when I'm 25 pounds down, 30 pounds down. And again, work back from there and just focus on that 90 days. So the 30, 60, then the 90 day. Real important. All right. So once we've got all that stuff, it's important to know how you're going to get there, as I said. Now, there's, people a lot of the time, if they really do want something, they want to succeed, they're not shy of doing the work. They're not scared to put the work in. If I want to, this is a prime example I like to give. You might have had an email about it. If I want to get to France and I'm going to row there, I'm going to be the hardest worker in the channel. I'm going to row my ass off, quite literally. I'm going to go as hard as I can. I'm going to row as fast as I can. I'll be sweating my bollocks off. I'll probably be naked as well, so I'm not counteract the chafing. But I'm going to go as hard as I possibly can. I could be the best rower. I could be the modern day Steve Redgrave and Pinsent all entwined into one big rowing machine, rowing naked through the channel. It's absolutely no use if I'm pointing towards Denmark instead of San Marlo. Or Nice, probably Nice. Well, it's no good. So if I'm working my arse off, I'm doing all these HIIT classes, doing all these boot camps, doing all these personal training sessions, doing all these circuits, doing all these run sessions, going biking, spinning. If I'm doing all that shit, I'm the hardest working person there, but I'm not facing the right way. I'm not doing the right thing to get to my goal. If I'm not doing the right thing to get to my goal, then I'm not going to hit my goal, no matter how hard I'm rowing. if I'm working my ass off and I'm pointing the right way, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there pretty quick. So my job, which I look to do with people, is give them the direction, help give them the right way, or the best way for them to achieve what they want to achieve, to get to where they want to be. Okay, and that's what, it's really, really important, I said, to have that roadmap. Whether that roadmap means you work with a coach like myself, or whether that roadmap means that you do some online research, or you get some books and stuff and start developing it, or devising a plan of attack yourself, whatever. Anything's cool, so long as it's something which is actually going to help you to get from where you are right now, potentially with that black cloud above your head, to where you want to be in the big orange sunshine. I said 12 weeks time, 6 months time, wherever you want to be, or whenever it wants to be. Real important. Cool. So look, there's a bunch of different ways to get what you want, to lose your belly fat, to get your abs coming out, if you want to get there. Okay, I said there's any number of ways. There's diet clubs which could potentially work for you. There's you can find workouts online or training programs online that might work for you. There's personal trainers. There's boot camps. There's, I said, I wouldn't say if you want to get a result, then loads of exercise classes isn't going to help. But certainly, if you're training with someone who knows what they're doing, then just whatever. There's a bunch of different ways to try and get to where you want to be, if you want to get it, and if you're gonna do the work. In terms of what we can help you out with, today's not a sales pitch or anything, and hence I'm not selling anything to you. But I am, there's an opportunity to give something to I think about 15 of you, for instance. So what we've basically got coming up at the moment is one of the things we do in the studio, and this is for people who want something a bit more individualized. This is typically what a lot of our Platinum Club members will come through, is the transformation session, where we actually look to work with you to find out exactly where you're at right now, find out what you want and why, basically do all the stuff we kind of gone through in more detail, and help you get all that clarity. We assess you to find out exactly where your body is right now in terms of how much body fat you're holding, muscle mass, water percentage, see where we're at. And then again, we kind of combine that into the one big super goal setting machine, take you through a bit of coaching if that's appropriate at the time as well. And we do that. And if there's a solution we can offer you training-wise and coaching-wise, then we can look to help you out on that. So that's the transformation session. We've got like 7 spaces. I can take people for that over the next couple of weeks. So we've got 2 spaces this week, and then there's 5 next week. I'll pop you links up for these things in a second as well, actually. Then the other thing is we've actually got 14-day memberships for our fitness camp for free, which you guys can book on. We take 10 people on that from Monday, which again, I'll tell you what, I'll pop the links in there for you guys right now if I can find them. They should be up. Cool, so that's the page you'll find if you go to the fitness camp. I'll just pop that into the question box and in the chat box as well, so you should get that one. So I said that first link I'm sending you is for the fitness camp. So I said if you want to, you can basically apply for a free 14-day membership to the fitness camp in there if you want to have a go on that, and that will start from Monday. Or if you want to, I said if you want to apply for one of the free transformation sessions, then you can fill in the other application, which will take you to this page right here. Alright, so I say we're not selling anything, but if you want to go and do one of those things, then you're more than welcome to book yourself in. As I said, typically on the transformation sessions, I said that's where a lot of our semi-private coaching clients will come through, or private coaching clients. And the fitness camp, obviously, if you want to look at more of a group training thing, then have a look at that. So what we'll move on to next then is question time. So in the question box, if you've got any questions, guys, just pipe up. Alright, so slam any questions in there. I'll just have a bit of a scroll through so I can have a look, and then I'll answer whichever ones are in there right now. A lot of people saying they can hear me, which is great. Alright, have we got any in there? Questions. Alright. Vegetarian protein. Alright, so Nikki, in terms of vegetarian protein, one of my favourite sources is, in terms of protein shake for vegetarians, would be like a vegan one called Sun Warrior. Use the Warrior blend, which is nice. So Sun Warriors are good in terms of a protein shake. There's no crap in it, and it's pretty good for you. Eggs, if you eat eggs, are great. I don't know if you eat fish or not, but fish is obviously a winner. If you eat fish, if some vegetarians do, some don't. things like nuts, seeds, beans, pulses. I'd stay away from corn because it's just processed fungus shit, basically. Excuse my naughty word, I think I've done 4 today. Alright, so that's a couple of vegetarian protein sources for you there. How do you eat healthy on shift working and moving around the country? So Courtney, yeah, that can be a tough one for sure. I was chatting to someone about it just yesterday. So I mean, shift working is a pretty tough one. I mean, you're never going to get everything perfect, is the first thing I'd say. So don't beat yourself up if it's not. You basically got to do the best you can with what you got. Okay, so a lot of it will come down to plan and preparation. For instance, if you know that you have got, I don't know, 3 night shifts on the bounce or whatever, and you know that you'll typically get hungry at X time or you'll sleep at Y time or whatever, then you can use that knowledge and that just know how to to plan your meals, to get prepared in terms of cooking them up and making sure you've got that food to take in with you, for instance, so you can start working around it. I said you'll never get it perfect, and you'll never get obviously the sleep side of things perfect, but you can certainly get some pretty good results. Most likely better than you're doing right now by a bit of planning, a bit of preparation, and kind of working towards it that way. All right, what else we got in here? Becky, are you just in Weymouth? Sorry if I missed it. Yeah, in terms of me, I'm just in Weymouth, that's right. We do have an online program which will be coming out over the next 2 months, an online version of our Ultimate Body Club program, which is like a 12-week transformation program online. That one, as I said, will be out in the next couple of months. So there's a possibility to kind of work with us on that front. Or we've got like a 30-day kind of kickstart kind of at-home fitness camp program as well, which if you want details of that, just pop an email to andysloanpa@gmail.com. So andysloanpa@gmail.com, and I can have a look at sending you some details for that. It's not a problem. As I said, the Ultimate Body Club one, there's no information on that at the moment. It's just kind of in kind of development, and that'll be a couple of months, as I said. All right, Rachel, I've got a 6-month-old. Sleep isn't known to me. Is it better to sleep or get up early to train? Again, my friend, depends on lifestyle and kind of just life in general. I mean, I know from having had a 6-month-old, it's like, it can be obviously quite hard. But again, just kind of work around it. Typically, if you wake up, you're absolutely shattered, but your kid's sleeping, then sleep. If it's in the daytime and your kids are asleep and you've got half hour, an hour to yourself, then bang a training session out. That's a good thing when they're that age. Is typically they'll be having a few naps in the day, all being well. So hopefully you should be able to find some time to train, as long as you're not too fussy about when or where you train. You could be okay to get it done. So again, it's about working around your lifestyle there. All right, so we've got a long one here from Andy. I'm now adapting my diet, but I don't think I'm doing the right amount of exercise. I was doing it every day, then that seemed not to work. Cut down, but now still not working. I'm away and trying to have protein shakes ×2 and 1 meal, but in a hotel, crap food. What else can I do? Greens drinks, great, I must say. I'm finding it easier than I thought. Not bad at all. How much greens drink should someone take? I'll answer that last one first off. It depends on the greens drink really, but I have lean greens, typically like just want a scoop of that a day, absolutely plenty. Don't need any more than that, to be honest. So yeah, just 1 hit a day is absolutely fine, typically for most things. In terms of the nutrition side of things, if you're having like 2 protein shakes and 1 meal a day, you're most probably not eating enough calories if you're training every day. So that'll be something to look at there. Obviously, if you're in hotels and working away, then again, it's one of those things which is quite hard. Something that maybe it might just take a little bit more thought and planning. One of my clients at the moment, he's basically a guy who's down from London, working as a dentist, just a locum dentist. He's down for like literally 6 weeks. He's staying in a hotel like for 5 days a week, then going back home for 2 days. So one of the things I suggested to him is just buying himself like a NutriBullet or NutriNinja or something, one of those blenders, keeping that in his room, and then at least he can make sure first thing in the morning he can make himself up, like chuck in a few bits of veggies, some protein, cut a bit of fruit or something, and make him up a decent hit of fuel first thing in the morning. One thing I used to do when I have been to like races for triathlons and stuff, I'm not sure this is strictly fire advice legal, but I'd actually used to take a George Foreman with me. I did an Ironman in Germany. I took a George Foreman and a steamer there. to a hotel. That worked pretty well. I even took a camping stove to one. So, you know, there's always ways around it. I'm not recommending that, by the way, but it's just what worked for me at in a few races. So again, you just got to kind of do the best you can with what you got is the way around it. Nikki, great, thanks. Lean greens, we've got. Yvonne, is it better to have a protein shake breakfast than a bowl of... Yeah, I'd definitely go for a shake rather than a bowl of cereal, for sure. You know, if you're starting your day off with like starchy carbs or sugary carbs, you're going to be setting yourself up to store more fat throughout the day. Absolutely. So you do much better in the morning. You know, a protein shake will be okay. I'd roll with that. You know, if you're doing that, then have something that's not massively dense in carbohydrate. So you know, I'd typically have like you know, a scoop of protein, maybe some unsweetened almond milk or just some water. I'll chuck a greens powder in, but after that, maybe chuck in like a bit of broccoli or some spinach or something, and maybe like a banana or some like berries or something along those lines, and that wouldn't be a bad start today. Absolutely. All right, keep these questions coming in, guys. I'm more than happy to answer all of these for you guys. So I said, yeah, just keep your questions flying in. Like, you know, stay on the line as long as you need to. It's not a problem. All right, cool. So the next one. Will a protein shake and fresh fruit work to start the day? Yeah, that's cool, as I said. But again, like we just said with Giovanna there, don't go bonkers on the fruit. I mean, you know, fruit's fine, but if you're having kind of too much of it and too much of the sugary stuff in the morning, then that's not going to be the winner, because that's still going to like spike your insulin blood sugar levels for sure. Right, what can I put in my boring vanilla protein shake, Nicola? Yes, we're in there, Nicola. You can chuck, you know, again, fruit, bit of veg, whatever, really. Something I quite like in a vanilla one, I literally just have that, banana, almond milk, and that's typically pretty tasty. So something along those lines is pretty good. Right, what fruit might be good to chuck in a shake? Like again, like something fibrous, like a banana is not the worst thing in the world for sure. The riper it is, the sweeter it will be. So I'd go for one that's less ripe more ripe. So that's what I'd probably roll with for that. So yeah, banana's pretty good. Berries pretty good. So blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, those sorts of things, all pretty good. Cool. Any more questions? All right, next can I please? Yeah, I'll pop the email just into the question box. There you go, andysloanpa@gmail.com. So send that. That should be in your question box right now. All right, cool. So yeah, it looks like questions are dried up now, guys. So that's absolutely cool. So hopefully that has been useful for you guys. As I said, this should have been recorded, all been well. Looks like it still is recording, so that's great. If you do get any other questions, then you can by all means pop them in an email to the address I just piped up with, which is andysloanpa@gmail.com. As I said, if you want to apply for one of those, you know, the spaces on the 14-day membership, then you can hit the link which is in the question box right now. Well, as I said, the transformation session link, there's one of those in the question box right now as well. So look, links are there, guys. If you want them, I'll get an email out to you at some point either tonight or tomorrow as well when I send the video of this out. And hope you guys have a fantastic day and well, evening in fact, and I shall catch you soon. Cheers. Bye.